like on the topic of like how have you used like the journey of starting inverted gear to like starting a school, you know, because you've trained so many different places and like all these different things. How has, you know, because like how long has inverted gear been? More than 10 years?
It's been 10 years.
10 years,
More than 10 years now,
yeah.
Yeah, so inverted gear has been open over 10 years now. We started in 2012, like early in the year. Then I met my wife, Hillary, in December, like less than a year into the start of the company, and then she joined, and then she made everything so much better. And yeah, like, we look at, she's a graphic designer, so she started like taking care of like that stuff and helping with customer service and then kind of like the feel of the brand and do's and don'ts and putting everything together. So between Shirley and I, both of us have been training over 15 years now. So we trained so many places. We worked at academies before. We had like a very like thought out idea of what we wanted the academy to be and like the school culture and the curriculum and grading requirements. And that's just from being like different places. Like, you know, some places train too hard, some places didn't train not hard enough, some places were super relaxed, some places were like maybe too relaxed, some places were too strict. So then, like, you know, just finding where you're comfortable and then what you want the academy to be, right? So one of the things we wanted is like really focus on the gi. So we felt like the area needed that, and like I think we were right. Like we had a lot of people sign up here that before were driving over an hour away, either into Jersey or towards Philly, to go train at different academies just because they didn't like training gi in the area.
Yeah.
And now we're open, and now like a lot of those guys like, you know, now drive 5-10 minutes to get here instead of driving an hour away, because they're happy with how our gi program is run.
So what you're saying to her is like you saw kind of like through all these different communities, different kinds of like what you liked, right? And then now you're cultivating what the community you think is the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's just I saw what I liked, because like,
what resonates with you?
What resonates with me. It is, because like some people like a more like traditional martial arts, more classical, like picture Helio on the wall, bowing in and out, right? We like
Yo Gracie every time you tap somebody.
Yeah, lots of ussing, and then having people call me professor. Like we don't do any of that. But at the same time, I'm like a little bit more strict and say, hey, like, you know, we're gonna wear a gi, we're gonna shake hands at the end of class. You don't have to call me professor, you just call me Nelson. But like if I'm teaching, like no one's talking when I'm teaching. Like, you know, there's certain things I'm strict about, certain things I'm super relaxed about. Like I don't care if you wear white gis, I don't care if you wear purple gis, I don't care if you wear like, you know, whatever brand you want. I don't care if you have a patch on your gi or not. If you want to wear or stuff, that's awesome. But otherwise, it's just like finding what you're happy with and what you wanted to cultivate in the area. And then the other thing was like just like culture and making a place where Hillary could grow her like women's program, and then having a women's program that's integrated in the academy is not just like one class a week where like the girls come in and train. But having like every class, the girls are comfortable training, like the guys, and not being meatheads with the girls and going too rough and then they leave. And then like not only with the girls but with each other. So with the fundamentals program we run, there's absolutely no sparring. We do like 4 or 5 moves. We drill like each move for about 10 minutes. And then at the end of the day,
those beginners are probably pissed though. They're probably like, I want to scrap.
Yeah,
but it's crazy because we have to argue with them, right? Like at our school, like we don't have that rule, but like I have to argue with guys. I'm like, you've been training for 4 months, like you still don't know anything, you know? Like slow it down, you know?
Yeah.
That's great right there.
So the thing is, like, I saw it over the years, like how many people got injured early on and they just never came back. Yeah. And then, like, you know, they could have been awesome at jiu-jitsu, but we lost them because we didn't take care of them early. Yeah. So, like, you know, perfect example, we have like this like 90-pound girl, and she did the fundamentals class. It was like 3-4 times a week, and now she's in like 6 months in. She's about to get her second stripe on her white belt, and she's super technical. And like now she's starting to spar, and like she knows how to pass the guard, she knows how to regard. She knows how to escape side control. She knows how to like basic close guard, basic half guard, a little bit of hooks guard.
Yeah.
And like she can function and she can keep herself safe when she spars with people heavier than her. But if I took that same girl and made her spar like day one, she probably got an injury.
She wouldn't go back. Yeah.
You know? So.
And then the kids program too. You have have just one kids class.
So there's 2 kids classes. So we broke it into 4, 5, and 6 year olds, and then 7+. So 7 to 12, whatever you want to call it, is the other class. So the littles, the 4 to 6, are here Tuesday and Thursday. The other guys are here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then the kids program started because like my kids wanted to be involved. So like my son Leo started going to the gym every day, and then we like bring him, like he see the place and run around the mats, and then he just kept asking, like he wanted to come to the gym. Like he didn't know how to say train, so he say, because we always tell him like, yeah, we're gonna go teach.
Yeah.
So he was like, I want to go to the gym. I go teach. Like I go teach too, pa. So we started the kids program.
That's awesome.
And we make the little guys don't even wear gi. They just wear like shorts and a rash guard. The older guys wear gi. And the 4 and 6, they just play games.
Yeah.
They just play games for 45 minutes. Like, you know, lots of like tumbling and walking on their hands, and like, you know, little drills to make them stronger, and like, you know, like working like kinesthetic awareness, like partner games with the coaches, partner games with each other, and then lots of like wrestling and judo. So like takedowns and pins over, like, you know, instead of like showing them like static positions and like going like really deep into jiu-jitsu. It's like, oh, this is how you get out of side control into close guard. It's like, no, this is how you take somebody down. This is how you hold them down. So
it's like just an army of young kids.
Yeah, and then like they're all getting really good at it, and then like now they're starting to understand what is, and like it's like, you know, as we start doing like the pinning and takedowns, and then like, you know, now they're starting to expose their back to defend the takedown. They're like, all right, then like, you even out your back. This is how you take somebody's back. This is how what you do when somebody has your back. Yeah. You know, and then like awesome. Building it up that way instead of like just like, we're gonna drill arm bars, and then like, you know, they're like between 4 and 6, like they're not gonna do that. With the older kids, we are like more like they're wearing the gi and like, yeah, like, you know, side control escapes, and but still a lot of emphasis on like from the ground to the floor, and like, you know, just like if you have side control, like side control is a pin, like this is where your knees should be, this is where your chest should be, like this is what weight distribution means, and working on that a lot, and then just like still doing like all those little drills to like working on the coordination, the kinesthetic awareness, like can I do a forward roll, can I do a backward roll, can I do like map pulls, and then just like building them up, and then like building up skills, so like not necessarily mixing, like they're gonna make them better at jiu-jitsu, but also if they want to play football later, they want to wrestle, they want to do lacrosse, they want to do volleyball, whatever the sport they go into, they develop all these other attributes that they can actually use instead of spending the entire time they're here on their back like pummeling.
Yeah, for sure. So where did like you have, it sounds like you have so much like love for like this like OG basic jiu-jitsu, like understanding of like that kind of stuff. Who put that into you? Like where did you pick like all these little things you're talking about, like weight distribution, taking them down, controlling? Who were some people that like, I mean, you know, sort of like set that seed for you? Because you started wrestling first.
Yeah, so I wrestled.
Oh wait, I think this is the story. You started wrestling, and then 2 weeks later you signed up for a Naga.
No, so
something like that, right?
So yeah, so the story is I wrestled through high school, but I didn't start wrestling until my junior year. So I only had like 2 years. I was like a decent wrestler. Like I had like a 500 record in New Jersey. In New Jersey, I made it to the region.
Nice,
I broke my thumb like fighting for third place, trying to make it into the state. And my wrestling coach talked me out of like wrestling D3. I had like 2 offers to wrestle D3 in New Jersey. Like those schools like send like they send you an offer just so you go there.
Right. Like
it wasn't like I was gonna get a scholarship or anything. Right? So it took me out of that, and then I played rugby. I got really into like Olympic weightlifting, but I miss being on the mat. So like me and my buddy Dave started talking about it, and then Dave found out there was like a Grappa's Quest back in the day, a month away, and then he said we should do this. And like we've been talking about doing jiu-jitsu, like just sign up for the tournament. So we signed up for the white belt division, like this Grappa's Quest. We never taken one jiu-jitsu class, and then we went to like an MMA school. And then we were there for like 2 classes, and it was kind of cool. We're like, all right, like we're learning jiu-jitsu. And then we went to another class, and then we didn't realize it was like half jiu-jitsu, half MMA. And like the nickname of the class was ground and pound night. So like, at one point, like we're still doing like all the jiu-jitsu drills we had done before, and then it's like, all right, like one guy, like everybody put gloves on, bottom guy you have close guard, top guy you're throwing punches, bottom guy survive. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, all right, we need to find like a legit school now. So we found another jiu-jitsu school. We did the tournament. We got really into it. And then I bounced around early on until my purple belt. And then a friend, Kevin Sheridan, who would eventually give me my black belt. He was under Alliance. He was training with Alliance in New York. Like he'd been training for a long time at Alliance. So he was there when Marcelo was there. By the time I started training with Kevin, Lucas was one of the head instructors. So Fabio Clemente, Babs Oleksamun, who's like an actor. He was an actor back then, but like now he's like on Dune, on Star Trek, and has like all these big roles.
That's crazy.
So it's super awesome to see that. So like those guys gave me that love for like old school, like jiu-jitsu and like Lucas things. Like you gotta be precise, especially when you guard passing on your sweeps. It's like precision matters. So doing that stuff and just being around like in Jersey when you started like 2007, we're still in that like modern jiu-jitsu in 2007 was like
not the same.
You're doing X guard. That was modern jiu-jitsu. Like deep half guard wasn't even like part of the meta game yet. So like then deep half guard came, and then like 50-50 became a thing. Then like inverted guard, and then we got into the bolos. And then like there's like so many things have happened since then. But I still. My thing is, especially as a big guy, like I still have like a smaller guy's game, but I recognize it's like a lot of my jiu-jitsu is I want to be able to train this for as long as possible, and then like that OG jiu-jitsu, I know I can do that shit into my 50s and 60s. But then like some of the modern stuff, I was like, I don't know how long my ribs are gonna hold up if I'm doing like all these inversions. I don't know how my knees are gonna hold up if I do all this other stuff.
All these inversions.
All these inversions. Don't listen to that guy. So doing that stuff, and then the other thing too is like I'm 35, so I'm growing the program now. I have a lot of guys like massive athletes, so like they're like in their 30s, they're in their 40s, they have kids, they have a career. So I'm cultivating these guys to be like my training partners long term. So like I don't care what the none of like when we open the gym is always like this like perspective of like what matters is not what the next year is going to look like, but what's the gym going to look like in 5-10 years. So like making decisions from the very beginning, not about is hey, how do we make money quick? Because we're in a position where like inverted gear is doing really well, so like that pays the bills. So I'm not making any money from the gym. I'm just covering our costs, like keeping the lights on. We have a gym manager. We pay the gym manager. We pay all the guys that teach get paid. And then I'm just growing the gym, and then just making sure we're developing these white belts with like a really good base. So they're gonna be good purple belts and brown belts down the line, instead of like teaching them stuff that's gonna win them tournaments at white belt and blue belt. I just want them to develop into really good purple belts, into really good brown belts that like just technically sound, like fundamentally sound, like the fundamentals are on point. So I get to have fun later. So like right now, like Julio asked me one day, like my gym manager, he said we had at one point we had fundamentals every day. Now we have intermediate and no-gi classes, so there's not fundamentals every day. So it's like you get tired of teaching side control scapes and mount scapes every day. I was like not really. I was like I find it enjoyable because I know how important it is. And also, it's a lot more fun for me once I roll with you guys and you don't get stuck in those positions, and then we get to do more stuff. Because for a long time, when I trained gi in the area, I would go like knee cut, mount, and like a cross collar choke when we're in the gi, like training the gi. And I would tell the guys, I was like, guys, like I'm not Hajar Gracie. Like this shouldn't happen. Like I shouldn't be able to do the same thing to you over and over again. So like you need to learn how to defend a knee cut. You need to get out of side control, and then like if you get to mount, you gotta get out of mount. If you're mounted, you need to like learn how to defend a cross collar choke. And like now, 6 months in, like we're getting there. Like all my upper belts, like that's on point. All the white belts, like that's getting like so much better. Like they're starting to escape, and now they're to the point like they're comfortable getting out of bad spots. So like now they're getting like scrappy, and like they're deciding to come after me a little bit more, and like that's so rewarding.
Yeah, no, and that's not what it's about, right? It's not about like sort of like what you want to teach. It's about what you need them to know, you know. And I think like even like with us, like at 10 Planet, like I struggle so much to stay on just like one small topic for one day, you know. And then with our warm-ups are like so many moves. But in the fundamentals class that I teach, I don't focus on the whole. I don't teach all 75 moves to that fundamentals class. I just teach whatever the topic is. Like, okay, top half guard. All right, we're gonna learn how to get chest to chest. We're gonna learn how to like win little internal battles. But that's so cool because I've been able to see it, right? Like we were saying, we were here when it opened, and to see like people now, like you see them growing in those little spots. It's really cool. Tell us a little bit more about like inverted gear. Like tell me a little bit about because is the logo gonna change then if you're gonna start passing, right? Is he gonna be on his knees like passing? Yeah. But because it's something for me that like I remember like the first time I saw the inverted gear, I was like, man, that's so sick. Like that's me all the time, you know. And then like even before like meeting you guys and like I was just always like, man, like I love to invert. I love to be like that, you know. So like how does it feel to like create something that, you know, can just like catch somebody's attention, especially in such like a niche of a sport, right? Because like you talk about bolos, you talk like it's all in that little zone a little bit.
So it's fascinating because like to this day, like I never thought it was gonna be as popular as it is. Like people get the logo tattooed on them.
I know.
Like I've seen at least 20. Like
20? That's a lot.
Yes.
In real life?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Like people send me pictures or like I'll meet in my tournaments and be like, oh, check it out. And they like lift out their sleeve and there's like a panda on their shoulder. So
Josh has 6 pandas on it.
Yeah. So I started it, when I started, it was like kind of like peak affliction, tap out, extreme couture era.
But that's the opposite.
That's exactly why it started. Because like everybody, I wanted to be different because I was like, this doesn't make sense because like jiu-jitsu brands were like MMA brands were doing so well that the jiu-jitsu brands were like pushing that way. We're like, oh, this is what sells. Like even I remember like IBJJF, like the Jiu-Jitsu Worlds for 2011. Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu Worlds for 2011. The shirt was like it was like black shirt with like that kind of font and like a silver print. And I was like, this looks like a tap out shirt.
Yeah.
It was like an extreme couture shirt. I was like, what's happening? So like in my head, I was like, dude, like all the the best jiu-jitsu guys I know look like freaking accountants.
Yeah.
They don't wear these like tap out extreme couture stuff. So I was like, we're gonna do something different. And then this was for like my own logo because I was teaching at the time. It's a purple belt I started teaching. So I created the logo was created for like Nelson Puentes Jiu-Jitsu. So we started wearing like a t-shirt with the panda on it and then like it's a Nelson Puentes Jiu-Jitsu in the back. And then like people kept coming up to me. It's like, oh, where you get the shirt? I was like, oh, I made it. He's like, oh, can I buy one? I was like, dude, like I don't know.
You don't even know this guy.
And like it had my name on it. He's like, oh, I don't care, man. Like $20. I was like, all right. So like I would like sling shirts at tournaments. I got called out for doing that one time, but I was doing that.
Look at us now. Look at us now.
So then one of my students was like, hey, like maybe you can make gis with the logo on them. I was like, I'll look into it, and then like like I was gonna I need to order like 100 gis. I was like, the minimum factory would do like that's like a minimum order quantity. So I had like 50 students, so I was like, all right, like if I'm gonna do this, like I started to my students, but I gotta like make it a brand. So like no more Nelson Puentes Jiu-Jitsu. We came up with like inverted gear, like me, a student, like knew a little bit of like graphic design. Like we slapped it together in Photoshop, which you're not supposed to. You're supposed to use Illustrator. My wife will tell me afterwards when she's looking at the design files. She's like, "What the fuck is this? Why is everything in Photoshop?" So we made the stuff. We made the first gis, and then they started selling. And then like I never thought like I would go into e-commerce. I was reading a lot of like business books at the time, but I always thought like my dream was to have my own academy. And like that's what I was working towards. I was like, I'm gonna compete a lot. I'm gonna get really good at jiu-jitsu, and I didn't care about winning as much as like I just want to compete so I can get better faster. Because if I compete, like I go to a tournament, somebody takes me down. It's like, all right, I need to work my takedowns. Like somebody passes my half guard, I need to work on half guard. So I was just competing like every weekend for like 6 years. I got my black belt in 6.5 years. Mm-hmm. And at that time,
really?
Yeah.
that sort of from Grappler's Quest to Black. What?
Yeah, I was like winning like IBJ. I was winning like local tournaments. I was winning like IBJJF Opens. Awesome. I took their gi pants. Brown belt pants had like a crazy division. I was like Jackson, Sousa, and Keenan were in my division.
Oh my god!
And then like I fought like some guy like won the European, and like it was like a close match, and I popped my rib, and I was like fuck, because I had like a really good pants. I had like taken a third that year pants. So I was like I think I can do well at Worlds, and then whatever. So I got injured. So I got my black belt pretty fast, and then me and Hillary like moved away from New Jersey because I didn't want to open like school in Jersey and like put my students in an awkward position. I was like, oh, do I stay here? Do I go with him? So we moved to like Abington in Pennsylvania. I had a friend that lived there. I wanted to live like closer to Philly and like just get out of Jersey for a little bit because I've been living in New Jersey since we moved to the States with my family. So I was like, all right, like maybe something different. And we started something like my friend had like a kettlebell gym, so we like put mats down at his like kettlebell gym, and then we were teaching a little bit, and we were like a month into it, and like I don't think the time was right, and I really wanted to travel, and Inverted Gear was doing well, and this would have been like it was like the first time I spent like the first 2 years of the business just putting more money into the business for growing it, so like making money, reinvesting, like not paying myself out of Inverted Gear. I was living on my Jiu Jitsu teacher salary. I was teaching Jiu Jitsu like 2-3 gyms, and I would teach like 3-4 classes a day. Like just teach in the morning, and then I had like a part-time job, and then I would go back in the afternoon and teach at one gym, and then leave that gym, go teach to another gym. So it was like after 2 years, we're like, all right, like Inverted Gear is paying the bills. Let's try to start this Jiu Jitsu gym. We're doing it, and then like between like where Inverted Gear was and where this new gym was, it was hard to grow both of them. And then we're like, all right, like we don't have any student loans, we don't have kids yet. We both want to travel, so like if we keep doing both, we're not gonna have time to. And then right now we can run Inverted Gear out of for laptops. So we sold the mats, split off from like my friend that had like the kettlebell gym, and then just travel for like 3 years. I think we visited something like 30 countries. Yeah. And then we were like all over. We thought it
was a business trip. You were flexing the Inverted Gear everywhere.
Yeah, flexing Inverted Gear, like teaching camps, and then like the more camps we taught, the more invites we got for seminars. We did like a seminar tour of Australia. We did like 6 seminars in Australia. And then we're just like teaching a seminar, driving 4 hours, teaching another seminar, driving 4 hours, and we just like stuff like that. And it was pretty crazy. I mean, like looking back, I mean, like there's like 2 years where we'd be home for like 3 weeks and then like go to the airport again, and then be home for 3 weeks and then go to the airport again, and then it was really cool. Like some of my favorite memories. Now I have kids. I still travel a little bit, but like I don't think I'll ever travel as much as like those years, you know. But yeah, so like Inverted Gear just grew from that. Like, you know, having my wife and like traveling. And it just kept morphing as it got bigger and as the years, and it's just the same thing of like I'm gonna bring something that's different because we started because like tap out was so popular, so we're like, all right, like do something different. Like so it's the Panda, so it's like not for tough guys. And then I was like, I'm gonna like price it fairly, and then I was gonna like make stuff that I would want to wear, so like the best quality that I can find, like factory wise. And then I've never haggled with factories, like, you know, so like if I get a sample and the sample is good quality and like they charge me something, and I was like, I do the math, I was like, all right, like I can sell it and like make a profit, like that's it. Like I never, anytime that you start like haggling with factories, like they have to cut something out in order to make your price, and then that's when like stitches start coming loose, and then like there's like loose threads, and then they rip because they're using like a thinner material than the original one because they're trying to make it cheaper, right? So and then the other thing too is like I did customer service for like the first, I think we had the company for like 10 years. I think 8 years, for 8 years I did like every single customer service email that came through, like either Hillary or I.
Yourself?
Ourselves. Yeah. And then that was like, like you know, I could be in Japan, like 12-hour time difference. And then like, you know, we had like plans to do something or the other, like, you know, I was fine like an hour here or there. I have like a collection of pictures on my phone, like me doing customer service emails, like, you know, this
in different places.
Yeah, like I'm in the beach in the south of Chile, I'm up in the Andes, I'm like, you know, on a fucking I'm in Japan at a like traditional hotel or like a little futon,
Yeah.
hanging out on tatami mats.
But what you were just like, it was so cool to hear you like you're trying to say like inverted gears, all these things, like inverted gears you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's your self-expression of like what you want it to be, you know, and like
I agree with that. You
just like not only being yourself, but you just like telling other people like to be themselves.
Yeah,
you know?
and it was funny. It was like we were for a long time. I was like, I've been creating content and like writing articles and like putting videos up. I didn't want to do it, and then like we got like a marketing consultant. Like he still runs like our social media, and like he's like, yeah, like you and Hillary need to be like the face of the company. I was like, I'm like, dude, I'm just a dude. He's like, yeah, that's exactly why you should be the face of the company. Because like you're not selling stuff to world champions, you're selling stuff to like some dudes. Yeah. You know?
The market is the dudes.
Yeah, so like and then that's the thing too, is like a lot of jiu-jitsu companies fall on this trap where like they just want to sponsor a bigger and bigger name.
Yeah.
And then it's nothing but competition, but like most jiu-jitsu people are not in it for the competition. So like that's why I like I joke around that like all my jiu-jitsu friends that I'm like close with and I hang out with all the time, and like them doing jiu-jitsu is like the least interesting thing about them.
Yeah.
It's like when you hang out with these guys where jiu-jitsu is like their whole personality, I'm like, all right. It's like, all right, dude, I get it. Yeah. You're into it. But then like when you have people like, they like jiu-jitsu, but then like also like to travel and are well-read and like have businesses, speak more than one language. It's like, all right, you're my kind of people.
Yeah, it's like the overall like lifestyle of it and stuff. But no, it's so cool, man. And I don't know, just to me, it's been like people call me a panda now because I'm always way, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's been this like effect of like, I mean, hopefully we saved a couple pandas in the whole, you know, thing of it.
Save the pandas, baby.
You know,
so yeah, I mean, the other thing too is like now as the business gets bigger, like now, like the academy is kind of like part of the ecosystem. And then like one of the reasons for the academy is like not only we wanted like a place to train at and like have like a place to go home is like we were always like asking friends to like film at their gym so we could create content. Right. Now the academy just like churns out content. Yeah. Not only like we shoot like little videos like Matt and I teaching, and but now it's like we have somebody come in and like film sparring sessions, and like you know like Julio's always taking pictures, and then like you know he's like churning content out, and then like you know it's like he gets like Inverted Gear gets tagged, and then like you know. We retag from the main Inverted Gear account from the Inverted Gear Academy account, and then it's just like now if you have like an online business, instead of like paying money to advertise, like what you should be using that money to just create content. Right.
Just show what you're doing.
Like and then people appreciate it. Like you know like we have like so many like white belt things that we do. And then like so we have like so many blog articles, and then like a lot of like the video content we shoot for is like asking like basic white belt questions like no one else is answering. And then like when white belt rash guards and white belts, like we have a hard time keeping in stock. Like people like we have
shout out to the white belt.
Shout out to the white belt paying the bills because like they my son's college fund is funded by white belts, right? So and then the thing is like we like a lot of the things we do is just like, man, like jiu-jitsu community is so awesome, and like it's been so good to me. Like I've been able to do all these amazing things that if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu, like you know, like I've been to Japan 3 times, I've been to Australia, I've been to Greenland, I've been to Europe more times than I can count. I've been like all over South America teaching.
You're gonna bring that culture to your students, right? That's so cool for somebody around here to come train with you, because like all of a sudden, oh, I train with Nelson. Oh, Nelson knows somebody here. Nelson, like anywhere,
so like my students are starting to see that. And I was like, oh, I'm going to San Francisco. I was like, oh, I'll hit up Riley. Yeah. I'm going here. I was like, all right, like we're gonna do this. I having like a bunch of people come up in December for like the 1 year anniversary. It was like I met so many people. So like now I'm like, they're always like, oh, I want to come visit your school. So like now I'm like cashing in. I was like, hey, if you're really awesome, if it already comes in the same week.
Yeah, I'll come. What's the date?
So like I think it's gonna be like 2 weeks before No-Gi Worlds.
Okay.
So it's like the week after Thanksgiving.
Oh, you going to No-Gi Worlds?
Yeah, I'm gonna do No-Gi Worlds. I never gone to No-Gi Worlds. I did No-Gi Pants a bunch of times. I never done No-Gi Worlds. I was at the first No-Gi Pants in 2008. That's how old I am. In
New York, though, right? The Pants is gonna be in Texas this year. Are you excited for the camp that we're gonna do?
Yeah, I'm excited for the Mexico camp.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm hyped for that.
Chile finally opened travel restrictions, so we'll go to Chile in March.
Nice.
February, March.
That's awesome.
Confirming the dates.
What's the plan for the Mexico trip? Is it gonna be like train, tacos, beach, or beach, tacos, train?
So we're gonna alternate. There's gonna be some days where we do the tacos first, and then some other days we train first. But yeah, the idea for the Mexico camp is like that's the other thing too, is like I've been to like so many camps now that I have is what kind of camp do you want to have?
Right.
So like remember like the first jiu-jitsu camps I went to, there would be like actual training camps. So we go like Alliance Atlanta, and then this is like
intense.
Yeah, it was like 2010, 2011. So like it'd be like Cobrinha was there, Marcelo was there, and Lucas and Tarsis, and then Alliance Atlanta back then was probably the best jiu-jitsu gym in the US. It's kind of like how Atos is now. Like you know, they would like take a team to Worlds or Pans, and then like guys like Alec and John Thomas and Ian McPherson and like all these dudes. So like these guys were like winning. Like they would take and then they would win. Like they have world champions like a blue, a purple, a brown. So you go in that room and it's just like freaking lines then. Especially like, you know, I was like a purple belt the first time out there, and like I never really competed at that level. So I had gone to New York. I've been to like Marcel's had just opened. I was trained like with Fabio Clemente. Like those guys were like. So I trained with some people of that caliber, but like never like I roomed that deep, you know. No. So and then I just remember like hating life the entire week.
Yeah.
Because it was just.
It was to recover from
it was just like we were getting crushed. So we would do like King of the Guard, like 10 minutes from close guard, 10 minutes from half guard, 10 minutes from open guard, and then like 5, 6, 10-minute rounds. Yeah. And then just like just high pace the entire time.
Not sustainable.
Yeah, not sustainable. So I just remember like what I would do is like I used to crash on John Thomas's couch. I would go in, like I was like, John, we need to get food. We go eat, and then we like a giant plate of like chicken and like rice or like potatoes. I used to get calories in. I would go to John's. I would like pass out on the couch, and then he would wake me up like, all right, dude, like you gotta wake up. We gotta go to practice.
Oh my god.
And then we do that shit again in the afternoon, and then like I would eat again, hang out with John for like maybe half an hour, so I'd fall asleep on the couch, and then like pass out again. Yeah. And then like Globetrotters camps are like a little bit different. It's like way more chill, and then it's just like such a full schedule that it's just like so much going on. It's hard to like take advantage of like everything you're trying to do.
Because there's a lot of teaching.
Yeah, because like there's like classes constantly going on. So like if all you want to do is go in and train, there's gonna be classes like starting at 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Yeah. Right, and some people do that. So for this camp, I just want like way more laid back. Yeah. So kind of like we're gonna go to the mats. Like a band's gonna pick us up, drive us to the academy. Yeah.
Shout out to Oscar. Oscar's the man.
Yeah. So we'll do like 2 hours, like Colonia Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah. So we'll do like 2 hours at La Colonia, like 2 hours. Like somebody will teach, somebody else will teach. We'll have an open mat. We'll drink some coconuts. Yeah. And then we'll head back, and then like we can go to the beach. We can like there's like a quick list of different excursions we can do. We can go to the Mercado. We can go to the beach. Whatever you guys want to do, and then just having like a camp where it's like more laid back, I think is kind of like more of a vacation. So it's like a jiu-jitsu vacation more than a jiu-jitsu camp. Yeah. So like you're still getting your jiu-jitsu in, but then like the rest of the time I just want to be hanging out, drinking mezcal, eating tacos.
Yeah, training once a day I think is a good number. Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying? Like once a day, and then maybe if people want to get extra drill sessions in, but like more than like twice a day is like it's already a lot, you know, especially for like 2-3 hours rolling with everyone. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so excited just to be on the beach and stuff like that. But thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate it, man. And see you guys next time.